How to shorten the time to ownership of a tax sale foreclosure. Hi, my name is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your #1 source for real estate advice online. Thanks for having checked out my YouTube channel here. Make sure at the end of this video, don't forget to go to my website. At the bottom of this video, you can read it there. Check out my ebooks there and some of the other stuff that I have there. I'm mostly active right here on YouTube. I also have a live radio show that's on once a week here in Savannah, Georgia, where I live. You can also listen to my past shows right here on YouTube as well. I kind of post them as I go along. Hopefully you get to check out some of them already. But anyways, this is my YouTube channel, and thanks for having tuned in. And in my channel and my radio show, we talk about anything and everything related to real estate investing. And a lot of the questions I get have to do with tax sale foreclosures, because a lot of people want to know how to do that. The people that are in that field are kind of a little bit tight-lipped because they don't want to give out their secrets. I'm a little bit different. I want to share information. There's plenty of properties out there for everybody, I feel, and it doesn't hurt to educate people about the things that I wish I had known, wish somebody had educated me back in the day. In any case, that's the reason for my ebooks, that's the reason for my YouTube channel, and I also like to interact with all of you. So please leave comments, please subscribe to my channel so you get notified when you get new videos up, when I get new videos up, and also I can respond to you. So in this video, we're going to answer a question from a subscriber, and she kind of gave me a couple of nuggets. I kind of put them all together and just made one video out of it. But really her basic question was, is there a way, and how do you do this, to shorten the time from buying a tax lien to when you own the property? So as you know, if you listened to my videos before, there's the deed states, there's the lien states, and things like that. So how do you, when you buy a lien, get to the property faster without having to wait this really excruciating sometimes redemption period, which is here in the state of Georgia actually not that long, only 1 year, and I think one of the shortest states is Texas. I think they have only 6 months or so. I need to check my cheat sheet. But there's states that have redemption periods of 2, 3 years, sometimes 5 years, depending on what kind of ownership it is, if it's a homestead, or if it's a business property, or if it's land, or if it's unimproved land, or if it's real estate that has buildings on it, and so on and so forth. There's all these little nuances and intricacies. But how do you get to owning the property faster? So for example, let me just give you a real brief example. You find the perfect property, it looks kind of deserted, it's kind of overgrown. Neighbors say nobody's been there in a while, it's been vacant for a while. It goes up for the tax auction, nobody bids against you, you get it. It's like, woo, eureka, I got it. But yeah, why should you have to wait another year when it's very obvious nobody wants this property? It's somewhere in no man's land. And I make videos about properties in no man's land as well, by the way. So you need to check those out on YouTube so you understand what that means. So how can you get ownership? You know, what if you don't want to, or aren't patient enough to wait the redemption period? What do you do? Some of the suggestions that were given by this particular subscriber, she said, well, should I just bid on the properties that are several tax years behind, or should I just bid on any of them that I like and it doesn't matter? But are the ones that are several tax years behind less likely to redeem? Is that the case? And if so, then to ensure that you get the property faster and maybe even have more of a negotiation with the original owner to get them faster somehow, maybe to pay them some money to take over the property prior to the redemption period being up, does that make a difference? And what my answer was, and I actually mentioned this on my radio show as well, is it really doesn't really matter. So if the taxes haven't been paid for 1 year, or if they haven't been paid for 3 to 4 or 5 years, it's kind of irrelevant for the whether or not they're going to redeem or not. It doesn't increase the percentage or decrease the percentage whether or not the owner can pay it. Now, of course, if more tax years are owed, they're going to have to pay more money to redeem them. So you would think that that is very likely not going to happen, and you're going to end up with the property. But what I've found is that usually only the taxes owed. If people really want the property back, they're going to come up with the money no matter what. Even if it's 3, 4, 5 years, doesn't matter. And if they really don't want the property, it can be just a year. It can be $500 and they'll get rid of the property that's worth, you know, $50,000, which has recently happened to me. Somebody gave up a property worth, at least from my estimation, $80,000 and probably even more, for a tax bill that was for $2,000. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm usually walking through looking over my shoulder thinking, it's like, what am I missing? Is this house gonna fall down? Is this a facade for a movie set or something, or somebody's filming me just to laugh at me? But people give up properties. I don't know the reason. Sometimes I don't find out. It just happens. And yeah, if they don't want them, then, you know, people like myself step in and pay for the taxes, catch up all the taxes, fix them up, and we have the property. So so that is not something that will get you to ownership to the property faster. Now there's another thing though that would, and I have used this before, is if you do very good due diligence prior to bidding on any property, you basically go to your county recorder's office and check property records there, and find out who the owners are, if they're even in town. Does it look like they're maybe in the hospital, or just find out who they are. Maybe you can contact them. And this is actually even done a lot by investors prior to the auction. They'll actually approach the owner and ask them, can I purchase your property if I pay your taxes for a cheaper price or something like that? It's actually called front running. I have also, that's actually also explained in my first ebook, How to Make Money with Tax Sale Foreclosures. I actually interview somebody that does that in that book. So you may want to check that out if you're interested in doing that. But just plain old picking up the phone and calling the person saying, hey, I purchased your property at a tax sale, or I'm about to purchase your property at a tax sale, whichever. Can we negotiate some sort of deal where I give you money and you sign the property over to me if you don't want it? And all they can say is no. Actually, they can do nothing and not say anything, which is what has happened to me before, when people just didn't want anything to do with me. But it's worth a try. You know, you got nothing to lose. Ask them. And sometimes the owner is like, well, you know, I would give it up, but I really want to have X amount of dollars or something. So if you're going to wholesale the property anyways, why don't you just, you can figure out this deal in many gazillion different ways. There's different ways to skin the cat. So you're talking to the owner says, let's say, all right, this dilapidated property, nobody's offering me more than $5,000 for it, but I want 10. Can we do something? All right, you know, what I have done before is I've just tried to find a buyer to give that owner her $10,000 back. This is an actual real example. It was a really, really bad rundown duplex that was really just barely standing on its foundation. And she wanted $10,000 for it. Nobody offered her more than $5,000. So I went up and I found a buyer for her that would pay her that amount plus whatever was owed on my taxes. So I didn't make any money on the property, didn't keep the property. All I collected was my 20%. And the ownership of the property swiftly and smoothly switched from old owner to new owner. And I kind of stepped out of the picture. I just, in this particular transaction, just wanted to make sure everybody's happy. But you can always approach the owner and ask to do some sort of deal with you, some sort of exchange, maybe some sort of, maybe you have another property that you have for sale that you can exchange with them. Or else offer them some money. I mean, in this case, if you can save yourself the attorney costs and the costs for a quiet title, which, by the way, sometimes run into the $5,000 to $8,000 range anyways, why don't you just offer that money to the original owner so they can walk away with some money and not have to do this whole quiet title fiasco? if you're going to spend the money, give it to the original owner, not to the attorneys, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, there's ways to shorten that period from you purchasing the property to you owning the property, but you have to be very open-minded to all kinds of things that can happen in all kinds of situations, and don't get yourselves boxed into any one specific area to make it work exactly that way for each instance, because that's not going to happen. And of course there's another option to shorten your redemption period, and it all depends on what it is that you're trying to do. Let's say, and I had this question actually recently from a subscriber, and they asked, okay, so I was approached by somebody who bought a tax lien a long time ago and the redemption period is up and they just want to cash out. What do you think about that? Should I do it? And kind of gave me the numbers and everything. And yeah, that's another option. You can just get out of owning a tax lien. You can sell a lien. You can sell a deed, of course. That's, you know, part of actually you owning the property. But you can also sell a lien. You can very easily assign a lien to another person. There's nothing illegal about that at all. You can collect a fee for that too. So yeah, that's of course another option that you can do. Of course, I would always recommend to check out the deal. If they're going to charge you as much as the property is worth for this lien, that's only a face value of a much lower amount, then that's kind of risky, because the original owner can come and just pay it off, and you're not going to get your payback for, you're not going to get the property, and you're not going to get the payback for what you signed, what you paid for that lien being assigned to you. So always think about every situation very carefully, and just make the best decision. Not every deal is going to be phenomenal. Some deals are going to be really crappy, and you just work around them. For example, I have a property right now that I thought, anyways, was appraised at about $26,000, $24,000, somewhere between 21 and 24 and 26. Three different sites that I checked, and nobody has offered me more than $15,000 for it, which is, I mean, I definitely miscalculated that, because I already put about $5,000 into it. So I got to adjust my strategy. I got to lower my price, got to offer owner financing, and I got to start working with the buyers to make sure that I sell this property, because I don't want to have to pay my holding costs, which are my taxes, cutting the grass, you know, making sure the neighbors are happy. I just want to sell it or do something with it. So you want to shorten that time, because time is money. Obviously, holding properties for a long time costs money, and you want to shorten that time as much as possible. So yeah, so some of the suggestions basically are try to talk to the owner, do your due diligence, which you can learn in my ebooks, and contact the original owners. Make sure you talk to everybody that you can talk to. Even go talk to the neighbors. Maybe the neighbors want to buy it. Or maybe they have a contact that you can talk to, somebody that may want to purchase the property. Now, another thing I wanted to say is keep your eyes open. I said that already on this video. I'm just going to emphasize it some more. If you have a basically a property, for example, that's got a really small lot or something like that, and right next to it is this huge empty lot, and it would make your property just much more valuable if you could add that lot to your property and sell it that way. So in this case, for example, try to contact the owner of that lot, see if you guys can join forces to both maybe get something from the proceeds of a much easier sale now, since you can combine the two lots together, and buyers are happy, you're happy, the other lot owner is happy. And just keep your eyes open for little things like that. It's basically gonna require your thinking cap to be on all the time, and yeah, try to be profitable, I guess is all I can say. I hope you like this video. I know I've been talking for a long time, so I need to kind of finish it up here. Make sure you hit that little bell at the bottom, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's how you get notified when I put up new videos. You can also go to my website, of course. That's where I want you to subscribe. It's juliamspencer.com. That's my newsletter. And check out my ebooks there. Any questions you have, realestate@juliamspencer.com. Also check out my radio show. It's on wruu.org. It's Wednesdays at noon. And all shows are also going to be published right here on YouTube for your future reference and listen to later on. I hope you like this video. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.